Hello, and welcome to the Music Survival Guide, the independent musician's guide on how to survive in the music industry. My name's Phil, a mixing and mastering engineer. Hope you're doing wonderfully well this fine October day. I say that, I don't know, I'm recording it ahead of time, so I don't actually know what the weather will be like, but never mind. This week, I am talking with Cian and Lewis of We The Sun. If you've not come across We The Sun, they are a Welsh band, and they are really good. So that's kind of all you need to know, I feel. And you'll discover them for yourselves as we go through the interview. We talk about things like using social media to show their personality. It's a really important thing. Why they prefer the recording studio to a home studio. And of course, the amazing story of their first gig in a pub that looked a bit closed and they had to move to let people go to the toilets and things like that. It's all really quite bizarre. I'm going to say no more than that and just say on with the interview. So, today on the podcast, I am joined by Lewis and Cian of We The Sun. Guys, how are you?
Doing very good, thank you.
Yeah, it's getting cooler. I love this kind of weather, but it is getting cooler, isn't it?
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. I was going to say winter. Autumn is drawing in, which is delightful. I like it.
Well, they did leave the heating on when I came home, so when I came up back into this little loft, it was baking. So I had to crack a window open because I looked at the temperature and it's 25 degrees. I was like, oh, I'm not, I'm not sitting in that.
No, thank you. Wow. So my first question for you, as always, is from an online random question generator. So my wonderful and very insightful question for you this week, and you can both answer separately, is what dumb accomplishment are you most proud of?
Ken, have you got one that you want to go with first?
Everything I do is relatively stupid, so I just pick of the litter for me.
Here's a relatively dumb accomplishment. My controller that I use with my PC stopped working the other day, and I've got it working again. So I got it working again by flicking the switch on the back that turns it onto wireless mode instead of it trying to use a wire. So that was my problem. And I feel pretty accomplished now that I don't have to spend 30 quid on a new controller. So...
Do you feel like a technical genius?
Oh, well, I work in IT, so I actually feel not good about myself.
Well, never mind.
Biggest, dumbest accomplishment I had, I parked down by a place in South Wales called Ogmore Castle, and the tide came in, and my car is a little Dacia Sandero, and the water was up to my knees. And when I opened the driver's side door, because you can't open the open the windows by the key, all water just rushed into the back of the car, and I somehow managed to get that car out without help. I did almost kill James May's favourite car, but we move.
I forgot that was one of his favourite cars. I forgot about that. Wow.
I think he still owns
Good
one
memories.
as well. I'm sure I saw it the other day.
Wouldn't be surprised. So my first real question, let me put it that way, is how did you guys get into music in the first place?
Music's quite big in my family, really. My dad plays guitar. He has done for years, which sort of got me into it. He always used to play... he normally play anything grungy. So usually Smashing Pumpkins is a massive thing I was brought up on, and it's all just stemmed from there, really, and it's just sort of grown and evolved. It's quite nice then, because especially coming from a family that's musically orientated anyway, it's quite easy for them to push you. So that's what got me into it. So I've been playing since I was 10. And then when I was in Compton, I started playing saxophone as well.
Oh, you love bringing that up. You barely play saxophone.
I love bringing it up because I rarely play it anymore. I still own one, but I rarely play it. But yeah.
I think there's time. There's time for you to bring it into the band.
I think it is.
I got into music because when I was a young, annoying child, I was desperate to get a ukulele. And I nagged for one for my birthday, and my mum quite cleverly didn't even more. and I bought a little SpongeBob ukulele from, I think it was like B&M Bargains. It was like 15 quid, and it was possibly the worst sounding instrument I've ever heard. But yeah, I kind of learned how to play an instrument from that. And then I think my mum kind of realised, oh, actually, he's not bad at this. And then she let me have a guitar. And then I'd go around Kane's as well to play his guitar. Because but that was before my mum would let me have one. I'd play Kane's guitar. I remember sitting in your room and Kane was like, oh, you could play that a better way. And I was like, I don't care. I'm just enjoying jamming on your guitar. But yeah, so I haven't been playing for as long as Kane, but not much less. I was maybe 13 or 14 when I was kind of probably getting into guitar. But we've both known each other the whole time, of course.
Yeah. Known each other 17 years.
17 years. Woof.
So roughly when he was about my height, that's what...
Yeah, we're both about the same height as Kane is now when I met him.
I see. What a damning indictment of your height. But there we are. I've got one of those really cheap ukuleles, and for the life of me, it will not stay in tune.
Don't say
Tune it up, and it one strum of the strings, and it's immediately dropped 3 semitones. And you're like, oh well, this is
It's
useless.
a wonder I managed to learn any songs on it, because like 2 bars in and it's a full step down. Like, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I actually recorded a song with it.
Oh, sure.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's available on the internet, but I'm not telling anyone any more information about where you can find it. It's on YouTube, but that's good luck with
That's
that.
good digging.
Anyway. So you guys, you're playing your instruments, and then at some point you think, let's make some music. How does that kind of go?
To be honest, I think, like, not really long after we both... obviously Kane playing for a bit longer than me, but not long after I kind of started learning and started doing a bit of singing, we'd kind of try to do stuff together, wouldn't we, Kane?
Yeah.
A couple of years after that, it's kind of the later years in comp, we had a manner of different bands. We were in a band as part of actually, we got interviewed by ITV News, didn't we, Kane?
Oh, yeah.
Because we were part of a rock school while we were in school.
I was part of a rock school. Wow.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Small world.
Yeah, crazy. We got interviewed.
Cool is a word for it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
cool is, yeah, a word. Yeah, we got interviewed, and to be honest, I nagged for them to show that interview, didn't I, Kane? And I was nagging, and they showed it, and I got to be honest, I should have left them not air it, because it did not make us look good. It made us look like we really didn't know what we were doing. Yeah, but kind of playing music together, and then we both went off to uni. But then this band in particular, it's kind of, whenabouts was it, Kane?
I think I joined about early, Marchish 2022.
Yeah, do you
Is when I
remember
joined.
anything else from when we asked you to? Because we'd kind of already started with a different group of people, didn't we? But
Yeah, I remember just being asked just to come for a jam, and I was like, yeah, okay. It's just sort of evolved from there. Those two, both those members have long gone since then. But so the only sort of original member now is just Sweeney.
we never did a gig. We never did a gig before you joined. Like the original enough.
Technical original member. No, it was from the people that I knew that managed to get gigs going, because I was doing a lot of solo acoustic stuff at the time around Swansea. So it was just sort of using who you know and who to speak to.
So what was that first gig like as a band? Was it good? Was it bad?
It was class. It was class.
The two kiddies. Kane, that is a great venue, isn't it?
It's definitely a venue. It's one of those ones you walk in. Well, when we first played there as well, I'd been there before, so I knew exactly what to expect. But you go in and there's taps on the bar, but none of them work. You get lukewarm cans. It's cash only.
Cash only.
And when we were it's cash only. And when we were playing there the first time, the lights weren't working in the corridor or in the toilet, so you had to use a light on your phone.
Oh yeah.
To go to the toilet.
So there wasn't really a proper stage for the bands. There was just a space for the drums, and the corridor for the toilet was behind the bands. So every now and then we'd all just have to shuffle over to let people pass. But it was a great gig. It was a lot of fun. It was so busy as well. Yeah, obviously not for us.
It was heaving as well. To be fair, it was.
But this sounds like a legendary venue.
No, but it was good.
It actually, to be honest, it is actually a legendary venue. It's one of those places that it just always gets busy, like no matter what. And I think the gigs are pretty much always free. You know, like people pile in. There was actually, so we've played there a few times since, and last time we played there, there were a group of guys who they came from somewhere like Carmarthen. And they didn't come to see any of the bands specifically. They just came because they were like, the Duke is open on a Sunday night. Let's go.
And they travelled all that way to a cash-only pub. So there was none of the taps working. And sometimes the toilet lights don't work.
Yeah, they were working this time.
Oh, well, wow.
They were.
That changes everything.
It does.
They work now, yeah. They work now because the guy that owns it, he got reported because the last time any electrical work had been done in that place was in the 1970s.
That's what we heard anyway.
I need to go to this film.
So yeah,
you do. It's actually amazing.
It looks closed from the outside, but believe me, it's open.
It really does look closed. I remember we pulled up for the first gig there, and we were like, "It's closed. We can't get in." And then the venue owner just walked outside and was like, "You here for the gig, boys?" And we were like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, come in." It's a great place. I actually love playing.
The guy that owns it as well, Tony, he's so lovely.
So wow, I'm not sure that could be topped as a venue, but I mean, that gig aside, which sounds eventful, let me put it that way. Have you had any like nightmare experience gigs where it's all gone wrong, or have you kind of got away with it so far?
Do you know what? I was going to say most of them have gone quite smoothly, but as I was saying that, I just had memories, and Kane, you might have blocked this out of your mind. Do you remember our Halloween gig in Crowley's?
Oh, when we were accused of stealing Sub-Zero microphones.
Yeah, we got accused of stealing Sub-Zero microphones.
Even though we turned up with our own Shure ones. In Sub-Zeros, we were like, I don't think it was us.
I also kicked my pedal board off the stage.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. Kane,
I had this.
What happened with your amp?
I had this little Blackstar HT1. I thought I'd use it for that one. That's not just because they got a cab there anyway. Just rig it up. And there was a band that came on before, and they asked, "Is it okay to use your amp?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." I was like, "But just be aware, don't touch anything," because it took us ages to get the sound right out of the PA to front the house.
Not just sound right, but just to get any sound out.
It was terrible. And they'd messed with it, and literally when the gig started, I couldn't hear anything. Nothing comes in the monitors. Loads of people were like, "You can't hear your guitar." I went up to, I thought, to try and move the speaker, the microphone closer to the cab. As I did that, the stand fell apart. So I was there like mid-song trying to sort this out. And then at that point, I was already done. I was like, they'd messed with the amp settings as well, which I was like, oh, I can't. And I was just saying, like, I can't remember what they were. I have no idea.
Nah, that was a rough one, but nothing much worse than that. Like
we were all dressed as Mario.
We were all dressed as Super Mario. That is quite an important part of that. Yeah, it was a Halloween gig, and we all went as Super Mario.
And I was the only one as Super Mario in a dress.
I mean, you didn't think maybe different characters from the world of Mario would be appropriate to say?
No, so we had a reason for it. For one night only, we weren't We the Sun. We were actually Super Mario and the Extra Lives.
Okay. That's quite a good name. I've got to give you that.
I know, yeah, it's good, isn't it? That was that. Do you know what? That came after the fact that we all.
Oh really? Oh, that strikes me as a name came first, and then you just went with it.
No, we had to come up with an excuse of why we thought it was funny to all dress as Mario.
I don't think you need a reason. It just happens.
Do you know what? You'd be surprised. So many people were like, "Why are you all dressed as Mario?" And genuinely, like, almost concerned that we hadn't chosen to go with something else.
Well, it sounds like every gig's an event. I mean,
we do have some normal ones.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just thinking about the venues near me, and I don't know any like those. But there we are. Wow. So moving on to a slightly different topic, I guess. How do you guys rehearse, and where do you rehearse? Do you kind of rent out a space? Do you have your own space? How does that kind of thing work?
Yeah. So for the most part, we rehearse in. There's a rehearsal space and recording studio in Bridgend. It opened. Was it last year now? Oh, probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit.
It was. I think it was beginning of this year officially.
But yeah, it's called Hot Jam Studios. I was hesitant to shout it out then because we already struggle enough to get a slot there anymore with all the people that go there. But it is fantastic, and Colin, who runs it, he's a lovely guy. It's the best rehearsal space we've kind of used.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's also like really convenient for us. And we do also rehearse in a place called the Green Rooms in Treforest as well. Fairly occasionally as well. You know, it kind of depends on availability of us and the rehearsal rooms. And Johnny there is also a lovely guy. That's a good space, and that's a venue as well, actually, as well as a rehearsal space. So you can, if you go and practice up there, speak to Johnny, he'll get you on a gig there. Sounds like I've been paid to promote this, so
But don't mess him about.
maybe I should be.
Because he's got a one-strike policy, so don't mess him about.
Yeah, don't mess around then. Wow.
Yeah, it would be quite nice to have our own space, 'cause, especially now. So everything's all digital for us, and we run everything through an IEM rack, so we could practice wherever really, as long as there's a drum kit.
Yeah.
But
If you got an electronic kit, you could do it properly silently wherever. It's the one you have.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day when we came.
Yeah, we were.
So-
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that. We'll have to see what we can do about that. But I do like going to practice in Hot Jam, and that's actually we've been working with Colin on recording some new songs as well.
Exciting.
So
Still to come.
yes,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Do you have a release date in mind, or is that still floating around and not yet determined?
Yeah.
We want to get one out before the end of the
Sure.
year, but we'll have to see how quickly we can be happy with the final product of it. No point in rushing it out. We're not in a rush to get anything new out, but it would be nice to have something kind of newer out there. So maybe before the end of the year, we'll see.
Have to wait and see. Keep your eye on the socials. That's what you need to say. That's the way. So how do you guys write songs as a band? Do you jam in the room? Does like one band member kind of do most of the writing? What's the feel and that kind of thing?
Lewis writes everything.
All right, okay, flattering me.
I turn up.
There's basically Kane is dumbing down his contribution there. I tend to write a lot of the bones of a song. I'll come in with maybe the main riff or the main idea, kind of a skeleton of the structure of a song, vocal melodies and sometimes lyrics, and that's when I kind of give it to Kane and I go, look, this is the song idea. What do you think? And he either says, yeah, I like that, or no, it's rubbish. And if it's rubbish, remove it. You'll try and add your own stuff, won't you, Kane? It's
pretty binary then.
Yeah, it's like I'm not very good at writing a song like from the start. I'm not very good at getting it from the ground running, but I've always been good at whatever ideas come to me. I can always have like envision something and see where it can go. Because I think that's where Lewis struggles a lot, is when he's got an idea of a song, he doesn't know where to go, and then that's when I step in then and I go, I think it should do like this or that, or tries. We always try to do something, and it's when it comes down to then just trying it. Does it work? Is it pants?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we write the whole song and then go, that needs putting on the shelf?
But to be fair, we've been like that for years doing that, even before We the Sun. Because we still got a song uploaded from years ago.
Oh no, you cannot tell people about this.
Years
And we also
ago.
have a song on YouTube somewhere. Phil,
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna say.
Oh, can you tell me and I delete that bit out so no one can hear it?
Oh yeah. Although
I promise I will delete.
You're gonna listen to the mix.
Go-
and
You're going to
go,
cringe.
Jesus
wanna
We were
know,
like,
I
what,
wanna know.
15? Something like that?
Excellent.
Yeah. It's called.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got to say, the song itself is quite good, but the recording is absolutely abysmal.
It's one of those I listen back and I'm just like, oh, God.
Found it. 392 views.
Yeah.
That's more than it needs. It needs way fewer than that.
God, he's more.
Uploaded 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Oh,
Oh, so we were...
it could have been 9 years ago. We were like
I don't know. That's just what it says.
17. Yeah.
Yes, we were like 18.
Well, Sean Sweeney says it's brilliant.
Oh, we didn't talk about Sean Sweeney.
Is this photo an egg? Is this still an egg?
Is his photo an egg?
What? Sean Sweeney? No,
Yeah,
it's just got his
an egg.
got his initial. It's not got a photo on
boring.
YouTube. Anyway, I'll listen
go,
to that later.
Oh yeah. If you listen to it, like if you unfollow us on socials afterwards, I will understand.
Wow, well, that's exciting. I look forward to that. So, note for Phil later when editing. We return to the actual podcast now. Worth take. Something that you said is that if you're not sure a song's kind of going well, you put it on the shelf. Would you tend to come back to it, or would you think about cannibalizing it for we like this little bit, we'll put this in a different song? How was your approach?
Yeah,
That's Marionette.
We were literally talking about that the other day. Yeah, so Marionette, and actually a lot of the songs off the EP kind of came from parts. So like we'd write the bones of a song, but we're like, okay, this bit needs a riff or it needs a melody that. It needs something to add to it, and we'd find it in like song ideas that I'd come up with half a song, or I'd come up with a chorus or whatever, and go, do you know what, we can use that here. But we've also we've had songs that we've kind of written pretty much all of it, and then shelved it. Like it's not a recorded song, but a song we have called No Presidents. We wrote all of that. It was done basically as a song. And Kane and our original drummer loved that song, and I hated it. I thought it was rubbish, so we kind of stopped playing it for a while. But we have come back to it more recently. We have had it on our set list a few times in the past couple of months, and spoken about recording it when we can.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that we think, and it's always the same. We think, that should be a nice quick one to record, but they're always the ones that is going to be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, especially because I didn't like the song in the first place, so I'm going to be like hypercritical of everything that happens on that recording.
Do you like the song now?
Yeah, I've come around to it.
Okay,
I've come
well,
around
at
to
least
it.
that's something.
Yeah, it's a short and sweet one, to be honest. I've come around to it. It's still not my favourite of our songs, but I don't hate it anymore, so that's nice.
That's nice. That's one for the release promotional information. I don't hate it anymore. Here's a song.
Yeah, that's quotes on release quotes on the back of something, is it? And it's like quotes from me who's written the song. I don't hate it anymore.
It's not the worst thing we've done. That's on YouTube.
That's yet to come. Yeah, that is terrible.
I don't know. It might be amazing. It might be bowled over by the. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that because yeah, I'm going to have to edit around that now. It's really annoying. Why have I done that?
It's all right. It's
Annoying.
all right.
Cool. So, to move to a slightly different kind of subject, how's the band managed? Do you share out tasks to someone, the boss? What's your approach to that side of things?
We did try to use Google Tasks to try structure everything, but as when it comes down to, I'm diagnosed ADHD, so I'm useless at management anyway. And then
I have to come up with creative ways to get you to do what I ask you to do, don't I? Like I said earlier, we're working with a social media kind of promotion company called LMS, and that has been really useful at keeping us on track of like keeping on top of socials and that. We've definitely seen like a boost in how we do things, but yeah, we don't really manage the band so much because there's only the two of us. A lot of it just happens from kind of chatting, do you know what I mean? It's, you know, a lot of chatting, a lot of getting stuff done. When stuff needs to be done, we're both good at getting it done.
Yeah. It's sometimes it can be very last minute. That's only sometimes. That's if we like really forget something. But to be fair, when it comes to that's more like the social side of stuff. But when it comes to actual days of playing a gig, you know, it's we're quite known as well to be very punctual, always there, always ready.
That's good. That's great. Good reputation.
And we try to be easy to work.
Yeah. We've been told a couple of times we're one of the easiest bands to book and to work with, because it's unlike, which I didn't realise. Some bands you can ask them and they'll just be like, "Oh, yeah, we can do it," and then next day, no. We usually give us a second. Yes, and then
That's not to say we haven't done exactly what Kane's just described.
we have done that before. Yeah.
We have done it before, but well, you know, we're not perfect.
It's
but,
mainly when I've double booked myself.
yeah, you do that. You do that, and fairly regularly. I have to be like, "Are you sure you
And
can
I have
do
to
this
check
day?"
my calendar because, which I'm good at doing now, is I save everything in my own calendar, because if I don't,
It doesn't exist.
there's no chance.
Yeah. So you mentioned social media. How do you find social media? Do you love it, absolutely loathe it, but it's a necessity, somewhere in between?
I don't hate it, but I've never been a big user of social media anyway, so I find it difficult to kind of get into using social media as, you know, for the band, because like I say, I don't really use much of it myself anyway. I especially struggle making TikToks because I make the clips and I just watch it back and I feel like it's the cringiest thing, watching like my like failed takes of a video.
The most recent one you've done is up there with cringe.
Oh yeah, but it had to be done.
Yeah.
Had to be done.
Does TikTok work for you then? Because that's the one that everyone seems to find quite hit and miss.
Yeah, we've had some videos do quite well on there, and we've had, you know, sort of people going from TikTok either following us on Instagram, or sometimes going and actually just checking out our music straight from TikTok. So we've had a little bit of success off it, but it's haven't popped off, as people might say. Not yet.
I find TikTok is good, but it's just very chaotic. There's no sort of rhyme or reason to what's going to work and what's not. But I think that's also adds to the beauty of it. It's like there's some videos that we've made and I thought they would do quite well, and it'll be like, I don't know, like 100 views or something, and I'd be like, how come that's not got done well, but then one that we'll do is completely different, and then it's like all of a sudden it's well, we're not really blowing up, but it's like the numbers are just a bit like, well, I never expected it to hit past 100 and past 500, and some of them it's like, how is that done well? It's just what have we done different? Yeah,
That's it. It's hard to nail down like timings and all the hashtags and the length of the video, the content and everything. It's just got to find our flow on that, what works for, I guess, people who want to engage with our stuff. But I don't hate.
I loathe it. I absolutely loathe through social media. It irritates me. I hate it. I never know what to write. I never know what to post. And then, what was the other day? Sweeney asked me. He said, "Oh, this gig we got coming up in Liverpool." He just said, "Oh, just find a gig photo and post a photo of the poster." And the first thing I saw on my phone was a photo of Sweeney. I just posted that.
It was not a flattering one either.
Is it not a good one? Was this recent?
Yeah, it was the other day.
Okay, well, I mean, you invited me to go and have a look, aren't you? Problem is, dear listener, that we're recording this nearly a month ahead of it going out, so this is going to be a little bit old news, and you're going to struggle to find. Oh, right, is it that one? Yeah, okay.
It'll be stricken from records by the time this comes out.
That's a real choice. I mean,
I don't even know how that was on like your most recent photos, because my hair is shaved on the sides there, and it's not now. So I don't know where that's even come from.
I mean, nothing says come to a gig like a photo like that. To be fair, it's got a lot of likes, so
yeah, it's not done too badly.
Done all right,
of likes.
Because I thought that I uploaded it and I was like, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean the thing about social media that's good and annoying at the same time, if I'm honest, is people who follow, especially things like bands, really want to know what people in the band are like. And if you can show that, then you're winning in this regard. And stuff like that, as annoying as you might find, it does work.
We had a video do quite well on TikTok of Kane chopping onions really badly.
Great.
So
yeah, my brother as well is a chef, and so is his partner. And they actually, the next time they saw me, they both said, I'm going to have to show you how to cut with a small knife, because watching you was an absolute hazard.
Free cooking lessons. It's win-win.
Yeah, well, especially for my brother. Yeah, crack on.
Wow. Well, there we go. There's not really a smooth way to transition into this, so we're just going to take a right handbrake turn into this question. So, you guys said that you go to the studio to record your music. Is there a reason why you've chosen that over home recording? What's your thinking around that kind of thing?
We're not very good at the structure of like getting everything recorded, doing all the repeated takes of everything and kind of going through that, as well as not very good at the actual production side of things in general.
Yeah, it's with us, it's more of we got all the gear, but no idea. It's just no idea really what we're doing. We can make some good rough demos, but when it comes to actually recording and doing it ourselves, I'm more comfortable giving the job to somebody that knows exactly what they're doing over, doing it yourself. It's a bit like, if you got jobs to do in the house, and if it's a job you're not comfortable doing, for example, if it's like some electric work, first thing you'd probably do is call an electrician. I feel that's sort of the same with this. If you want it done properly, and it to be right, you'll find someone then will.
And I mean, some people have that expertise and make music. That's great. Fair play.
Yeah, it's like one of the bands we're quite friendly with, isn't it? They do it all themselves.
And it sounds great as well. That the guy that they've got doing it in the band, it sounds really good. But yeah, we can't do that, and especially there's only two of us. It's a lot of work for just.
Especially when it comes to drums, recording drums, absolutely no idea.
It's good fun. It's good fun recording a drum kit.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a lot of fun when you can get everything in the right place, get everything nice and mic'd up. I would not.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, you put the microphone in the right place, and then that's it. There's a bit more than that, but that's basically it. Yeah, I mean, I guess doing it the way that you guys do it means that you can focus on the performance and the creativity of it, and you're not encumbered by let's make sure we're recording at the right level and all this and all that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is making sure that everything's going in at a good level. We always have an issue in the studio of whenever it's my first time recording vocals in both the studios we've recorded in now. Kane has issued a warning to the producer and said, "You need to turn the gain down on that microphone." And both times they've gone, "It'll be okay." And then I start singing, and it's regretted straight away that it hasn't been turned down. It's my mum always says I've got a very distinctive voice. I think that's a nice way of saying I've got a very loud, annoying voice. Yeah. So that's one thing I wouldn't know how to get that right, because I just like slam I've got this little Focusrite solo. I just slam everything in through there, put the gain, whatever, make a demo, and it always sounds terrible. But it's just so that we don't forget how it sounds.
Yeah. Well, if that's what it all is for, then it doesn't matter how good or bad a quality recording it is, until you make it really famous, and then you can release all the demos, of course. But worry about that down the line. You keep making the terrible demos for now, and then you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'll keep doing it.
I've viewed some terrible demos for the 90s. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
There was excuses then. Not everyone had access to just like Reaper and a Focusrite solo.
Yeah, it was
for basically
we
nothing.
booked this little room for half an hour. Get all on this tape now.
Or the little home recorders you get where you did it onto a cassette tape.
Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that good stuff too. It's
I'd love
great.
to buy one just because it'd be good fun. But anyway, so what would you guys say is the biggest success of the band so far? Big, wide open question. And you can have different answers, obviously.
I feel we've kind of got a sort of more official achievement, haven't we, Kane, of winning the Swansea Battle of the Bands last year.
yeah.
But I feel like we've been riding off the coattails of that for almost a year now. So it's time to. But it was a hard competition. There was a lot of really good bands in that competition. And we made a lot of good friends through it. So it wasn't just, I guess, winning the competition, but meeting all the cool people that we met and kind of realizing that those cool people that we met also thought we were a good enough band to win the competition was a nice thing. Definitely felt like, I mean, we never have too much doubt in like our abilities as a band or our abilities to write a song, because we don't really do it for anybody in particular. But it's nice to know that there's other people that have gone, yeah, that sounds really good. Like, we really enjoyed that. And then, so I'm going to stick with Battle of the Bands as my answer. We've got a couple of months, I think, until the 2024 winner is crowned.
Yeah, it'll be
so I'll brag about it until then.
December. Yeah.
Can you have another go?
No.
We will. I don't think we were allowed to enter this year, but we are going to be playing. I think maybe playing at the finals.
We were asked though after that, on the coattails of that, to we basically offered a place in Metal to the Masses, which is a chance to play Bloodstock, but we hit an awkward situation where we just couldn't be in the competition anymore, which, to be fair, with the type of music we were doing, I was a bit like, we'd be a hell of a wild card anyway. So, yeah, but it was nice, to be asked to just enter, basically told, if you enter this, you're going to be on it. So it was nice, but it was one of those things where a bit like, it just became a bit awkward, the timing of it. So it's unfortunate. It would have been nice to see how, where we would have gone. But it is what it is. Always next year, as they say.
There's always next year.
But yeah.
But I think, what do you think in terms of achievement, Kane? Do you think the Bunkhouse Battle of the Bands as well?
I think the biggest achievements we got so far is how we've just gone from a 4-piece to a 3-piece and really honed down that sound as a 3-piece, and it's the absolute powerhouse that comes through. There's so many people that look at it and watch us and just say, I never expected 3 people to make such a full sound. It's like, that's the biggest achievement. And then now getting everything digital and then re-honing that again has been a real big challenge to figure out. A lot of head work to get it right. But I think that's sort of the biggest accomplishment for me, really, is managing to do a big sound and then make it all digital, and then it's still there.
That is a big transition. What to ask a nerdy question for a sec? What are you using for your digital rig?
So I am using a Quad Cortex because my bass sound. And it's a totally original idea. I'm running multiple signals, and one of them is octaved up to sound.
I've never heard anyone do that before.
I've never heard any other bands do that before.
That's very unique.
And I didn't, when I got the Quad Cortex, search on the Neural app Royal Blood preset. I didn't do that.
Okay.
No, but using that Quad Cortex has opened up a lot in terms of being able to get like a massive turn off just the bass. So I use the Quad Cortex there. Ken?
Well, I used to have a massive pedal board that there was some venues I'd play in and something would go wrong, and it'd be a game of what's gone wrong. Usually, the culprit was always my Digitech Whammy, because it was an AC pedal, so it'd always have faults on it. And then one day I got so fed up I bought a Helix. But I bought the Helix Stomp, and then I run that into a Blackstar Amp 2. So the Amp 2 is MIDI'd out, and then I've set up my own cab sim and everything on there then. So I got the sound that I want, because before that I used a Blackstar HT5, and then I moved to the Silverline, and then I moved now to the Amp 2.
Yeah, it took you a long time to transition to go fully digital.
Well, yeah, just watching you turn up with just a briefcase, and nothing else.
Yeah.
But then again, that first gig we played, you turned up with this massive Fender Rumble. You pulled it into the Duke, you put it down. They walked over, went, there's DI on that. Stage volume off, DI. And you were like,
literally
never again.
one gig with that amp. It was I think the second biggest Fender Rumble you could buy. Absolutely huge. Carted it all the way from Cardiff to Meath just to put it on the stage and get stage volume turned all the way off. I was a bit upset about that. And then I kind of slowly made my way to a Quad Cortex. I did like a sort of DI box and all of that stuff. Then I moved to a Helix. And then, on the Quad Cortex now. I can't see myself moving off that now because it is just another beast.
It's pretty epic, isn't it?
Yeah, and we also use that to kind of, as an audio interface live. We've recently started using like a click track and backing tracks and stuff live, and just being able to do all of that through equipment that I already had into the rack. Perfect. So
I didn't know you could use a Quad Cortex for that as well. Thinking about it, but that's
it's got. Yeah, we're running the click and the backing track outputs. Obviously over USB to the Quad Cortex, and then out through the 1/4-inch jack outputs, just straight into. We're using a Behringer XL16 mixer on a rack then, and it is really handy to just be able to, I didn't have to buy any extra stuff to do that after, because we were using the IEM rig for a while. Probably been using that the bulk of this year, but the moving to the backing tracks and the clicks and everything is past month and a half, 2 months.
So it's going well, having a more complicated setup in that regard.
Yeah, it is getting a bit more complicated, but then we try and it'll get more complicated, and then we try and I guess simplify it in a way we've moved to wireless IAM packs now, so that's obviously simplified. Well, not having to run cables across the stage for our packs. I guess it's not going to be so simple when we have a load of RF issues, but
you'll be fine.
We'll deal with that.
You'd be all right in your cash only pub. I don't imagine there's much around there.
No, I can't imagine. There's going to be another band down the street with running on the same frequencies there. I think we'd have to go a city over.
So, what goals do you guys have for the band for the next 6 months to a year or so? What do you think? We've
been trying to move more, like to play kind of outside of South Wales a lot more. So I think part of it is wanting to be kind of spreading our wings a bit and playing gigs a bit further afield. I think, Kane, you kind of feel the same about that, don't you? It's
sort of what I would like to achieve. Is because at the moment it's nice, playing South Wales and familiar venues a lot, but it does get to the point where it just gets a bit too samey, and it's a bit like, all right, yeah, we can do Well Gear, and that's fine, but we need to start spreading our wings and getting further out. But then it's so hard then to get out to other like cities and venues, because a lot of them, I won't say which ones, but a lot of them are very, very clicky, and it gets extremely hard. But yeah, especially one city I'm trying to get in, and it's doing really irritating me.
Is it London by any chance?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's quite common knowledge. It's a difficult place. If you don't play in London regularly, it's a difficult place to get a gig in London.
I'm finding the same with Bristol as well.
Okay.
Bristol is getting a bit, because that's like sort of for us in South Wales, that's sort of the next step out is go to Bristol, and then you can sort of go out from there. But trying to get into Bristol it's proven to be an absolute ball ache. It's just and it's one of those things there where it's like, because loads of people ask us as well, like, oh, when are you playing? Sort of, or they say to us quite a lot, well, you should try get into Bristol or London. It's like, oh, believe me, I'm trying. I'm really trying. But it's like, but then we're also told then, like, what a lot of promoters look at is they'll sort of look, when you approach them, they look at your social media, your following. If your following is like sort of not in the thousands, and you're asking to play a different city, they're more likely to just not even give you a reply. But then it's sort of like a double-edged thing then. It's like, well, how else are we supposed to grow naturally without spreading out and trying somewhere else? Which, to be fair, I'll be honest with Swansea, I think Swansea is very good. They're just very easy to get into. They're willing to give anyone a go in Swansea.
Yeah, I think South Wales in general is a good place for bands to.
Yes, like the Moon in Cardiff, they'll have with respect, they'll have anyone.
Yeah, no, you don't mean it in a bad way. Like, they give a lot of bands a chance to play on that stage, and it's a great. Womanby Street on Cardiff is it could be a difficult one to get onto if the Moon weren't so, I guess, willing to give bands the chance to give it a go. I love
same with Fuel as well, which is next door. They're very easy to book. Just hire the venue itself. And they're very easygoing.
Nice. I mean, my penultimate question for you is, what is your best piece of advice for bands nowadays? Wide open, generic question.
I don't know if people want to be taking advice from us.
I think everyone's got some good advice.
Networking. Just get out there. Go, especially if you're a local band. And if you don't, in my opinion, if you don't go and see other local bands, you're not really going to get anywhere. You have to go out there, speak to them, talk to them. A lot of local bands you'll talk to, and you'll say, oh, hey, I'm in so-and-so project or so-and-so act. I generally, if I'm told that, I'll go and look them up. Or if they approach us and they ask, got any chance of getting us in somewhere, if I can, I will. Or I'll always you speak to other bands, you say, "Oh, I'm really struggling to play here," for example, wherever you're playing, and then they'll just say, "Oh, well, see that guy standing by the bar? Talk to him. He sorted this out." Just network, go speak to other bands, go to local events, go to even some of like the sort of little bigger ones as well, because there's been a handful of times where Sweeney has managed to just find the promoter and talk to them. So
spot the promoter.
Just if you're starting out, I know it's hard to have the confidence, especially early on. It's really, really hard to get the confidence. But a lot of the time, you just got to bite the bullet, just get out there, talk to people, talk to other bands, message other bands. Just try, socialize. Because especially if a band likes you as a person, they're more likely to work with you. That's my biggest advice to anyone starting is just networking. Just get out there.
Make friends with, everyone as well in the local scene. Obviously part of the networking is just get to know everyone. Like we've made a lot of friends through music, a lot of people that we know who we really get along with now, not just because of the music. And it can be hard not to treat it sometimes, or it's hard to find the mindset not to treat other bands as competitors.
Yeah,
because even though there is that element of bands are competing to get a slot in a place, or to play this venue or that venue or do whatever, but acting that it is that way is not the way to kind of make those connections, and not on the on the sort of smaller scale. I mean, obviously, if you start getting a bit bigger, I'd imagine it's quite cutthroat. But on the kind of smaller scale that we're at, just make friends with everyone. No point in being hostile. No point in having an ego.
And if you're playing a local gig, and you're on that lineup, I'm telling you now, as a band that's already out there, if you don't watch all the other bands, they know.
Oh, yes.
And they'll remember you, and it'll be like Fallout. A little thing will come up above your head. Everyone disliked that. So even if you don't like their music, just at least like wait around for half their set if you really don't like it. Because bands do notice. I notice it all the time. And other bands pick up on it as well. They will remember that. Even if you don't like it, it's just, it may not be your thing, but just remember you're all there the same night to put on the show. So just be respectful, and just have some just good etiquette when it comes to playing.
The only valid excuse to that I know, because I've seen some bands do this, and it's totally fair enough, is if the gig that you're doing is really, really, really far away from where you live, and you're going home that night, and then the only way you can get out of it is the band or bands that you're missing. You go and talk to them, and you say, "I'm really sorry."
Yeah, well, that's it. I've had to do that. Sometimes I've had to literally do actually, there was a gig where I basically played and I let the boys pack everything of mine up. I literally had to go. But beforehand, I went and spoke to all the bands, and I was like, "Look, I'm really
sorry." It was that gig in Newport we did as well. I'd flown back from Poland the same day, and I travelled from Poland back to the UK, and then drove from Bristol back to Swansea. I just went from throw my luggage down, grab the kit, chuck it in the car, drive to Newport, and when I got there, even the bands that were playing came up to me after and said, "Are you okay?" Because it looked like you were up there and you were going to faint. And I really was as well. I was just exhausted, and even after that, they were like, "Are you okay to drive back?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to be."
Wow.
But,
wow.
Yeah, that was.
Eventful.
That was a nightmare. You should have said that earlier, Kane. That was a nightmare for you.
That's something I'm never doing again.
I thought it was hilarious.
I'm never doing that again, because that was one of the worst feelings I've ever had. And even then, I was like, I spoke to the bands. Well, they were the ones that said to me, actually, they said you should go home, and I was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, I'm gonna have to. I can't.
Yeah, if they're telling you to go home, it's okay to go.
Yeah, they're like, you don't look. They're just saying you don't look well. I was like, I'm not.
Wow. Well, I guess my final question for you guys is to close out the podcast. I'd like to ask for your favourite song from the band, which is released, to play at the end of the episode. So, which song is it and why? And I'm afraid you will have to agree on the song.
We will agree on it. I know. Marionette.
It's a good choice.
Can you agree?
No.
Oh,
Oh, well, I knew you were going to say that.
Joking,
No,
yeah.
we-
Marionette.
Yeah, Marionette. It's just very catchy. It's annoyingly catchy. It annoys me that it's so catchy, and I wrote the lyrics and everything. But it's a song that always gets a good reaction from crowds or from people listening to our stuff for the first time. And it's just so catchy. Just the ooze. Everyone says the same
yeah.
thing.
That's how I came across you. So
Yeah. So I think that's the track we'd like you to play.
cool. Well, this is We the Sun with Marionette. Guys, it's been really great to talk with you.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
A little puppet on a string. You pull me, push me, pull me, push me, pull me, push me away. But I would still do anything. Yeah, I would still do anything. A little puppet on a string. You pull me, push me, pull me, push me, pull me, push me away. But I would still do anything. Yeah, I would still do anything. I'm not under your thumb, I'm under your hand. It's under the table, it's under control. I'm under your spell, you won't let me go. And I'm not asking you to make me do what you want me to do. Marionette. Take control of the way that I move. Marionette. Operating and handled by you. Marionette. Make me do what you need me to do. Marionette. A useless, lifeless little thing. You twist me, turn me, twist me, turn me, twist me, turn me away. You could make me do anything. Yeah, I would still do anything. If you're not careful, I might break. And with my freedom, I might run away. That's your risk to take. I might not do anything. 'Cause what's a puppet without strings? I'm not under your thumb, I'm under your hand, I'm under the table, I'm under control, I'm under your spell, you won't let me go. And I'm not asking you to make me do what you want me to do. Marionette. Take control of the way that I move. Marionette. Operating and handled by you. Marionette. Make me do what you need me to do. Marionette. Take control.